Dude. What am I doing? Why is it doing? Why is it being so slow? Okay. Now it's working. Can you hear my computer? Can you hear it? It's really struggling. Okay. Here I am. All ready, all set. Okay, guys. No one's here yet. I'm waiting for somebody to be here so that I can just, talk about my new thing. It's on my desk right now, and it's terrifying. And I'll explain. I will explain. Yeah. Just waiting for anybody to come. Hey, you. Waiting for anybody to come. I was going to do like a LiveTUBBS brainstorming thing. And you can do that if anybody's here. And the numbers are wrong. Then basically, if anybody is here and you can hear me, then and you were here on the last stream, then I hope you did your homework and like you can do like a little mini brainstorming. But I'm literally here just for a few seconds, few minutes, because oh my god, my eye! What the fuck? Just to basically brag about having a new phone. It's actually creepy. It's very creepy because, like, I'm old enough. Oh my god, I'm old enough to have lived in a period where nobody had phones. Nobody had mobile phones. I even say this to some of my friends because I'm only like a couple years older than some of my friends, and yet they're like seriously, like you didn't have phones in high school. They weren't a thing. You didn't have like cell phones in high school. You didn't have smartphones in high school, but they're like, yeah, we didn't. We didn't. Literally, when I was just coming out of high school, that's when the first iPhones were coming out. The very first iPhone was coming out, and nobody had it because we were kids. It was considered to be a thing of like of like adults to have like a smartphone. Cell phones were a thing. We did have mobile phones in high school, but only on my last couple of years did we have mobile phones, and even then, they were shitty things. Does anybody remember the Nokia? Is that a big thing? Was that a big thing in the States? I heard it wasn't that big of a deal in the States. I heard it was just a big deal in like the UK. You guys had Nokias, but you guys had the phones with the antennas all the time. And I always wanted one of those, and I actually got one of those. That was my first mobile phone, and basically like it had this little mini antenna. It was a Sony Ericsson. It was famous in the Lara Croft movie, the Tomb Raider movie, because basically like it was in that movie. It was advertised. I'm just going to take my glasses off because I'm going to go to bed after this. But It must be some kind of like weird radiation that if only affects this eye when I live stream. It must be. It must be. I don't have this much eyeball shit normally. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I had that phone. And I had that like in the middle of high school. Everybody was getting these crappy. Was getting the crappy Nokias. You know, there was this one like type of Nokia mobile phone, and basically everybody was getting that one, and it was like, I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome because it was kind of indestructible. Like you would drop it, and it will like the battery will go in one direction, the phone case itself would go in another direction. It would be like in pieces on the floor, but you put it together again, and it was fine. So strange. Um, but yeah, I remember a time when in high school nobody had phones. It was actually a weird thing. Like when I first went into high school, for the first few years, or in America, you guys would call it grades of high school, there were no phones. So yeah, and I basically tell my friends who are basically like again only a couple of years younger than me, and they're like, "No way, we've always had phones. It's crazy. Our generation has always had phones." And it's like, no, no, it's creepy. And it's even creepier the the progression of phones. Seriously, what is with the fan? You're not even that warm. The computer's just really thinks it's hot or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's just weird how in each year the progression of technology went up, because when mobile phones started to be a thing in high school, um, they were huge. I can't believe it. Yeah, yeah, they were huge. They were huge. There were no phones at all, and then all of a sudden this huge kind of thing. And I'm not talking about like the 80s mobile phone that were literally kind of like gigantic, like this sized. They weren't like that. They were kind of like TV remote control, a big one. Imagine a TV remote control. That's how big mobile phones were. That's how big my first one was, and that wasn't even mine. I basically I got to take my mum's phone with me to school in case there were any problems. Yeah. Again, it was huge. It was massive. Um, but it was a phone. It worked. You can type, in buttons and stuff. It was really cool. My dad had like a portable radio, like a not a walkie-talkie, kind of like it was almost like a satellite phone, but it was basically like it hooked up to a radio. It was like a walkie-talkie that could transmit to radio stations and stuff, but it was portable. Kind of like truckers have in their trucks, the radio. It was kind of like that, but it was actually a radio. I remember that thing in like this like a in a leather case and with plastic over it, and like you had to poke the buttons really accurately because it did have like a phone on it, but it wasn't really a phone. It was a radio. It was a thing. But yeah, it was strange that there was all these weird. It was weird crap. You know, it just kind of like weird progression. And then like I said, I got my first phone, my first proper phone, and that was the Sony Ericsson. And it was kind of a flip phone. It had a bit of it that kind of came open so that you could type into buttons, but it was kind of closed. It also looked like a walkie-talkie, like a small walkie-talkie. Okay, it's just the weird weather outside. Yeah, it was like a small walkie-talkie, um, but it wasn't a walkie-talkie. It was clearly a mobile phone. But anyway, yeah. Then then um, the real phones started coming out. People started to get different phones and stuff. Um, after this weird phase where basically everybody got Nokias and they were all the same Nokias. There was a weird phase where everybody started to kind of like. I never had a Nokia, by the way. I was the weird one who basically had the Sony Ericsson when they first came out at the same time as the Nokia. Everybody was getting Nokias because they wanted to play Snake or something. I don't know. But then I got a Sony Ericsson because I wanted the one from Tomb Raider. Also, I wanted a flip phone, and it was just I wanted one. I don't know why. I literally can't remember why. I wanted a flip phone. So yeah. Um, so yeah, then everybody else started to get like different phones. There were all these weird different kind of shit. Like the precursor to the Razor came out. Um, uh, there was this weird kind of like blobby one that looked like it was made out of like water or something. It was strange. There were like all these different kind of just different phones. There was one with like a circular screen that basically had like inside it was just a square screen, but everybody loved that one for some reason. You know, it did Panafox. I'm gonna get to it. I'm just getting to the history of phones because nobody was talking, so I didn't want to just reveal it to nobody. So yeah. So yeah, Panafox. I don't know if you heard the beginning of this, but I was um I was basically telling a friend who's only a couple of years younger than me that that I remember a time when there were no mobile phones. That there were mobile phones, but nobody had them. Only executives had them. When I was in high school, there were no mobile phones. It's like the big thing now. I'm guessing, because there were mobile phones that they basically halfway through my high school experience, mobile phones started to become a thing. There were the brick phones, but then they morphed into the Nokia phones. And I don't know if you guys had them. I don't know if you guys had them in ever know about these kind of phones, but Nokia is they were amazing. I again just watch the beginning of the stream. I went over it, but yeah, I'm getting to the point where basically the history of mobile phones in my high school, and this is actually the end of high school. So yeah, everybody had kind of like the same Nokia phone, or you were weird if you didn't. I was weird, and I had a Sony Ericsson flip phone. Anyway, but yeah, then there was this weird period, um, like for the last year or two of high school for me, where everybody decided to split off their interests, and all of these different kind of mobile phones were coming out. Like there were so many different kind of mobile phones, and I can remember them. There was like the Sony Ericssons, there was the new Nokias, there was the even the Blackberries started to come out with their own thing, Motorola's, um, and then there were these like the carriers had their own phones as well, so they were coming out with new phones. So you had all of these different things. The Razor again was this huge thing, you know, um, the precursor to that. But the company that I was always gravitated to was basically Samsung. Samsung did these. They also did flip phones. I always had flip phones. Always had phones. The first non-flip phone that I had was a BlackBerry. So yeah, um, and that was way after high school. So yeah, but essentially, So there was this Samsung, and I think I've had like shown you guys a picture or something in the past, where basically it had like a mini screen on the outside, and it's kind of ironic now if you think about it, but I'm going to get to that. And then it flipped open, and on the inside it had a big screen, and then basically like the keypad. All phones had a keypad. Again, just trying to let you know about phones before the smartphone happened. So yeah, it was kind of awesome though, because not only was did this phone have a screen on the outside, it was also the one with it was the first phone with the first megapixel camera. It was amazing at the time, and it had a little screen on the outside, so you can actually take selfies. It was a big deal. It was a huge deal. It also had like a couple buttons, so you could play music as well, which I did use, because everybody basically in high school, whenever your phone had like a gimmick or a feature and everything, basically people would use it to do one thing. They would play one track on it if it had like a music feature, or basically if it had like a torch or something, everybody would use the torch for just to show off that their phone could do that. And then that was it. Basically, they'd only use it for that one time, and then that was it, right? But I actually used the music feature on my phone. It could store lots of tracks of music. It was a big deal at the time. But yeah, it was actually quite good. The earphones that came with it were also really, really good. And acted as a hands-free as well. It was one of the first hands-free. But it was amazing. I said to myself, this is the phone I'm going to die with. This is it. I don't need an upgrade to this. This is amazing. And it's smaller than the phones now. So it's pretty good. Also, the battery ejected like it was in a gun. You could actually load up your phone like it was a gun. So yeah, and you can actually detach it, and it would basically like come out of the phone again like it was a gun. But these are the people who made the Matrix movie phones. Do you remember the Matrix movie phones? I really wanted one of those, in fact, but you couldn't get them in the UK. Big deal. Anyway, so yeah, flip phones. They were a big deal. I remember when flip phones were a big deal as well. So yeah. And then basically I went to college, and I ended up having to get a BlackBerry because this phone, the technology outpaced it, essentially. Text messages and multimedia messages became a huge deal. And although my phone could receive multimedia messages well past the time when it should have been able to, eventually it just stopped being able to receive pictures. People sent me pictures, I couldn't see them. Plus, the web feature wasn't that great on it, and it basically it became obsolete, and it was so sad that I had to get rid of it, because essentially it just couldn't receive text messages, and that was important. So yeah, so I had to like put it to rest. It's actually in the house. It's actually in the house somewhere. But it's an amazing phone. I do miss it. Oh, by the way, it had a torch on it because it had to use flash to take pictures, and it was powerful. It was hugely powerful. It was amazing, the torch on that thing, because it was two lights either side of the camera in the middle. It was amazing. Anyway, so yeah, I had to get a BlackBerry, and then after I had the BlackBerry, I started to get iPhones instead. And one time I tried getting a Pixel, and you guys know about that. But now I'm back to having a flip phone. Look at my crummy finger on that. Do you? So this is it. This is the phone. Let me get back. Let me get closer to the camera. Just a little bit closer. So this is the phone. It's scary. This is, by the way, this is a case that I got for Damon got me the case for it. But it is a smartphone. It's not just a flip phone. It's actually also a smartphone. So yeah. But yeah, it's got a screen on the outside. Actually, has a little animal on it. There's different animals on it each time you poke it. So yeah. So yeah, this is it. This thing's terrifying. This thing's terrifying for many reasons. Oh, now my stream is being shitty. Great. Whatever. So yeah, this thing's terrifying, mainly because, well, as you can see, it's a smartphone, but it folds, and I know that's like the whole gimmick at the moment with Samsung phones, but yeah. By the way, do you like the case? It looks really good, but it feels really cheap and plasticky and shit. Like there's carbon fiber here, but what good is that if basically it doesn't extend around the entire case, right? Whatever. But yeah, so here's the big gimmick. Ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? That is terrifying. It's just terrifying. Got the candle on it. Swing. New phone. So yeah, it came. Um, it's actually a lot longer than any phone that I've ever seen before, because it folds, obviously. So yeah, but the screen is amazing. The screen is actually really good and nice and clear and crisp. And yeah, I don't know why anybody would want it to be any other way. You know, I don't get it. Um, but yeah, what are you doing? It's updating. So yeah, the thing is that basically NSP. That's somebody said that. Somebody said that in one of the reviews for it. That's one of the reasons why I got it. Because I was like worried that it's gonna feel flimsy. It's gonna feel shit. You know, it's just gonna be crappy. But then somebody on one of the reviews that I saw for it, it was like I thought it was gonna be crap, but then then I got one and it reminds me of their SP that they've got, and it feels as tough as an SP. And yeah, I will grant you that the seam on it feels very, very tough and strong, and like it will not just snap the second that you basically over put too much pressure on it either way and stuff. That being said, doing this is terrifying every single time. I swear to God, I it hurts me. It hurts me a little bit to do this, but to just, oh my God, it's like like this is uncomfortable. But it's a feature. It's what it's designed to do, you know, and it doesn't feel flimsy or unstrong in any way. The connection on it is actually amazing looking. You know, it looks and feels strong, but it's just, oh my God, it's just so unnerving. Oh my God, just yeah. It just looks like I'm gonna break it somehow, but It's fine. It's designed to do that. I will get used to it. I honestly will get used to it. But yeah, I'm being very good with the bending. I'm basically only bending it when it's not in use. When it's in my pocket, that's the only time that basically I fold it over. But yeah, it is waterproof, by the way. I have not been brave enough to test that, but apparently it's waterproof. I've seen a video of somebody with their new one. They put it immediately in some water and used it while it was in the water, bent and everything, and it was like, So yeah, new phone. It's got a very nice picture of the sunset, and yeah, people were pointing out that like unless you're looking for it, you don't notice the seam, and that's true. You don't. I mean, look at it. You can't really see the seam. It the sunset on my screen happens to be perfectly placed so that it's on the seam. So essentially, it's kind of hiding it, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, that's my new phone. Um, it cost me $1,000, but I'm okay with it. I've been setting it up today, and it seems to work fine. I was going to do more setting up, but including like getting the stuff put on it. It's got Messenger now, so I can receive text messages and stuff, which is good because this is what this phone's mainly going to be used for. Um, by the way, just seeing all of my contacts, just just so many on the screen at once is very strange. Um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. It's very very odd. It's just a very odd phone. I'm hopefully I'm gonna enjoy it, but yeah, there are holes, and I'm not entirely sure what they do because they're not speaker holes. They're not for plugging things into. Oh, and there's the weird scroll thing on the side is very strange as well. But yeah, if you're wondering, by the way, where the fingerprint scanner is, it's the button on the side. See that bigger, flatter button? That one? That's a fingerprint scanner. I didn't know that because I was just holding it like this with my thumb on the button, not pushing on the button, just on the button. And then all of a sudden, it was like, would you like to register a finger for fingerprint scanning? And I was like, where is it? Where's the fingerprint scanner? Is it on the screen? Is technology that good at the moment? And I was like, oh, right. Oh, okay. I'm a dingus. So yeah. But I mean, I like it. I like it. I'm gonna have to fold it again. Seriously, I must. I'm trying to get used to this, but it helps to not look at it. I'm looking at it on the stream. Oh my god! It clicked as well. So yeah. By the way, when it doesn't have a case, it also it doesn't really meet up with itself. But with the case, it does, and that's just very very unsettling. But yeah. Anyway, my phone. Do you like it? I like it. It just doesn't feel like a phone anymore. Going back to flip phones seems to be a bit of a weird kind of like step back and also step forward at the same time, because I like flip phones. I've never understood why technology went the other way of having an incredibly exposed screen. Like like I mean, my old phone, the poor thing, I had to buy. It's got another screen here. Like there are like 3 layers of protection on this thing. You know? Yeah, it doesn't seem like a phone when it's like this. You know, when it's like this, it doesn't seem like a phone. But then it feels like a pager because of the screen, because of the mini screen. It just feels like a pager. But it's a phone. You know, I've got to get used to it being a phone again. But this thing doesn't really feel like a phone. If you basically said to somebody in the past, like when I was in high school, they gave me this and basically said, "This is your phone," I'd be like, "But it's huge. This is just a big iPod." You know, I'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" But if somebody said to me, "It's like, okay, this is your phone," you know, when I was in high school, they said, this will be your phone in the future." I'd be like, "Yeah, I buy this. This is my phone." But yeah, we've gotten so used to this being a phone that we forgot that this should be the phone. So yeah, uh, it really doesn't seem like a phone. Like I said, it does seem like a pager. But yeah, by the way, this is a screen. It can take pictures. Can I take pictures from the screen? Got a little rabbit, had a monkey, and a lion. Had a goat on it the other day. Look at Bunny, a tiny bunny. It's a bit bright. I'm trying to get the. It's got a voice recorder, a timer. I haven't actually added it onto the thing. It tells you your messages and the battery percentage and all that stuff. So it's cool. It's cool. I'm trying to get to the, but it's also so uncool. It really it's just frightening. It's just so frightening. Okay. I don't know how to do this. So you should be able to see yourself or the camera anyway on the screen. Yeah, you can see the camera on the screen. How cool is that? How cool is that? A Game Boy background. It's really hard to find the actual backgrounds. I think I might have to make one because that's what I mean. I did actually try to find one that had Game Boys on it. You know, that was like a proper SP Game Boy kind of thing. But essentially, yeah. By the way, it's picking up all the dust on shit. But yeah. When you do this, when you bend it, it basically does the thing where it looks at, it uses the camera. Don't look at my untidy desk. But yeah. Creepy, but yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to find a good background for it for this. So anyway, there's the phone. I have to end all of these things now. But yeah. What was that? My computer did something. You can actually set that. You can actually set that on this. You can actually set the. You can change all of. It's all customizable because it's Samsung. So yeah, it's supposed to be. It's a Galaxy phone. So yeah, it makes sense. Um, but yes. So there you go. I haven't tried the wireless charging thing, and apparently you can share power. So that's cool, I guess. But I haven't really seen any of those features in action. But yeah, new phone. But yeah, I wanted to get a Game Boy background or something, but it wouldn't let me. You have to pay for all of that shit, essentially. And I haven't got my account, my money accounts linked to it just yet. I've got the Google Play Store, but apparently that's in the Samsung App Store side of things, which requires which requires you to log in with your, bank card and all that stuff. So essentially, I haven't done that because I don't want to have to access to my monies. I barely only just give that information to Google, but that's only because Google I pay for things from Google, so yeah, it makes sense. Um, so yeah, it's a bit of an annoyance, but you can actually go into the store, find a background and everything like that. So yeah, um, yeah, that's the only thing that I haven't done on it. I've got the apps and stuff on this phone for travel. Um, yeah, I've got all of the apps that I need for travel on here. I've only just downloaded them on here again. So I've got to do that on there. So yeah. Um, Otherwise, it's good to go. I literally have to download two apps. Um, it works as a phone. That's what I need it for. It's got at least one game on it that I can play on the plane, so that's good. And yeah, I mean that's cool. I'm taking this phone with me anyway because it's my entertainment one, and also basically it's going to be my camera as well. But yeah, also I'm going to be streaming from it probably, so that's kind of important. Um, but yeah, that one's going in my luggage and that one's going in my pocket. So it's a big deal, but it's a whole thing. It's a whole big deal. I was a dummy today. I accidentally ate something that I wasn't supposed to eat because I've got this like urine, this 24-hour urine test thing where basically I pee into a giant jug, and then they ask for the jug back. Um, so I've been doing that today, and the thing is, it tells you not to eat all of this stuff. And one of the things that it tells you not to eat is chocolate. And I have completely forgot this thing. And I had a protein bar. I had a power bar. Um, what flavor are my power bars? Chocolate. They're supposed to be super low calorie though, so I hope it doesn't count. But essentially, it just yeah. I've got to sheepishly tell the whoever I hand in the bottle of piss to. Um, I've got to sheepishly tell them that like I broke the rules because I did. You know, one of the things it tells you that you can't have, by the way, was basically yeah, it tells you that you can't have tea and tobacco products. And the thing is that basically, like yesterday, and I'm gonna have one in a bit as well before I go to bed because I've got a slight headache and it helps. Is is my pipe as well, and essentially, like I said, I had one last night because I couldn't sleep and I was just feeling really shit about myself. And yeah, it was just one of those things of like, eh. So yeah, I've got maybe I should just slip in a note because basically there's a jug. They give you a jug, this big jug, and they put it into a plastic bag because the jug itself stinks because they don't want stale piss, you know. So what they do is in this jug, they've got this kind of like acidic stuff, and the acidic stuff is meant to be a preservative for your pee, so that it keeps it fresh, so that they can they get your piss fresh because doctors for some reason want fresh piss. But yeah, so I have had to pee into this jug that stinks so bad that we keep it in our bath, and it basically the entire bathroom stinks of. It's kind of like a funeral home. It smells like either a funeral home or a doctor's office. I don't know if you noticed this, but they have very distinctive smells, and it's this stuff. This stuff is the thing that makes them smell. So our bathroom and kitchen basically it slowly smells of this stuff, and it's so annoying. But they ask you to not do these things, and if you do eat it or drink any of these things, if you consume any of these products whilst you do the test, it could invalidate the test if you do not tell the doctor that you have done so. So yeah, I had an accident. I ate a chocolate thing because it tells you not to eat chocolate. Um, I accidentally ate some chocolate stuff, and it's been a stressful day. It's been a stressful couple of days. So I've had my pipe. So yeah, fuck you, doctors. They haven't asked me if I'm going away yet. I basically said to them, I'm not going to be available for the next 3 weeks. And they were like, oh, okay, well, just keep us informed. It's like, I'm informing you. I'm not going to be available for the next 3 weeks. It's like, okay. But they never asked about it, so whatever. It just probably does mean that I'm going to run out of medication while I'm in the States, but eh. I survived without medication before. It's not like it's going to kill me, but yeah. Bloody typical. Right. Well, you guys are up to date with everything, I guess. Um, I was planning to be on later, but I'm still feeling tired. I think my sleep cycle's kind of settled because I'm not supposed to go to bed until like midnight, and it's only like 10:30 in the UK at the moment. Um, but I feel really tired. So yeah, I've got to get up really early to go to the airport on Saturday, so it's not really a big deal. But yeah, brainstorm ideas for padding week. Still interested in doing that. Um, let me know. I'm gonna try to do more live streams, probably around about this time ish, maybe even earlier. But just keep an eye out. But like I said, when I get to America, I will be doing a live stream. I will be doing some live streams there, hopefully, anyway. So yeah, yeah, that's it. I don't really have it. I really am up to date now. I kind of don't want to go. I kind of want to go, but I kind of don't want to do the traveling part, and that's so weird because I normally like traveling. It's probably just anxiety. It's probably just the travel anxiety thing. It's not really anxiety. It's more like just anticipation or something. I don't know. I just got a bad feeling again. Every time I have a bad feeling, but every time it's always fine, you know. And every time I always think that this, but yeah, but this feeling is different. This feels worse somehow. I don't know. I might just be depressed. I might still just be depressed. I don't know. I'm excited, but not excited. Ugh. I kind of wish that there was like a mutual place that we could meet. Like Vegas. I'm just rambling. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, going to bed. Ugh. Belly rubs. Oh, that was good. Belly rubs and belly salute. And yeah. Oh, I actually did online banking and found out that I basically have a ton more money than I thought I did. So that was a relief because I basically thought that I was dirt broke. I'm still not rich, by the way. I just want to point that out. Just because I thought I have more money than I thought I had, just means I'm not immediately fucked when I get back from the States. Okay, it it doesn't mean that I'm like super rich and could just buy a house or something. I'm literally yeah, but it's just that it's a big relief because once I bought this phone, I expected a call from my bank saying that like, okay, you have no money. Give us some money. I never understood that. When you have no money in your account, basically, I don't know if this is the same in America, but the banks in the UK they charge you. They start charging you for this, even if you don't have an overdraft. You basically they start charging you, and it's like, with what? You can see I have no money. Why are you trying to get me to have less money? Why are you trying to get me to have negative money? What the fuck? So yeah, I never understood that. But yeah, like I said, I expected to hear that, but in fact, I have enough to be not immediately fucked when I get back to the UK. So I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with that. Kind of. It's more of a relief. It made me less depressed. How about that? That's what I'm going to stick with. Okay, I'm going. Toodles. I tried to wink just now, but my eye. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I have a problem with this eye. Oh my god, I am going to stab it out one day. I'm just going to stab my eye out one day. It's going to get that annoying.